Hello, welcome back, or welcome if you're new. If you're new here, my name is Elena. I'm the homeschooling mama to 3 kiddos. Here on the channel, we talk about everything from homeschooling to homemaking, all the things in between. We did a 75 soft a while back ago. We're gonna try to do something similar this time around too. So the 75 soft ended when we were like in the middle of a trip, and then we were on the verge of moving, unbeknownst to me. It was a surprise move. It was just taken by storm. But since we've moved, I've found it so difficult to get back in the fitness groove again, back on, like, just back in the saddle, I guess. And I have gained weight. I know that my nutrition is not where it needs to be. And every time I say this week I'm gonna get better, even today, every day I start a new one and I'm like, yes, today's gonna be the day that I jumpstart and get it going. I'm just not. So last night, in all honesty, my anxiety levels have been really high, and I don't really expect, I expect that this is something I will wrestle with for quite a few more seasons. I do know that God is doing a work in me, and there are lessons to be learned and just all this stuff, but I know also that when I'm on point with my fitness physically, it helps mentally and spiritually. So with that being said, we are going to start another 75-day challenge. I'm hesitant to name it like 75 soft or medium. In no way is it 75 hard, because I need some wins under my belt and I need some structure, and I think that this is going to be the thing that, hopefully, God willing, this is where we're going to grab it, right? So here are some of the rules that I laid down for my 75-day challenge. I would like to make sure that I'm getting 8,000 steps per day. This can change as the challenge goes on. It can change going higher, but it cannot change going lower. So I know 8,000 may not seem like a lot to some people. At one point in my life, it wasn't much for me. It was easy. I could totally grab that. But lately, because it's just been really difficult to do some things, and then I've had other health issues with my back, and just things like that, it's been difficult. My step count has been super low. So I'm going to start with 8,000 steps a day, and that's going to be the goal that we're going for. And then, like I said, as it progresses, if I see that that's becoming too easy, we'll bump it up. For my water, we're going to do 80 ounces of water to start with. Again, this can go higher if I feel like it needs to be. We are in well, I guess technically summer is going to start this week on the calendar, but it's already in the high digits here. We're in the 90s, and then it just kind of, goes from there. I don't think it's going to cool down much more after this. We may get like 1 or 2 days where it's cooler, but I don't foresee. I think it's going to be hot. So 80 ounces of water. Again, this can increase, but I cannot decrease this amount. Then for the diet type thing, what I think I'm going to do, instead of having macros like I did previously, I had a set of macros, and that's what we were doing. We were trying to do concentrate on intuitive eating and like introducing that to me and my mindset, while still making sure that we were hitting proteins and things like that. So coming into this, I don't think I'm ready to go full force back into my macros, but I'm going to prioritize protein, my vegetables, and hitting my fiber. So I want to make sure that I'm eating more vegetables, and I want to prioritize getting protein and fiber in, because I know when I hit those two, it really helps. Then 45 minutes of exercise 6 times a week. So I'm going to give myself one full rest day. It can be an active rest day, but I don't want to put that pressure in case we really just need one mental day a week where I just need it. Or maybe there is stuff happening in life where we just, I don't know. Maybe it's a Sabbath day that we're going to take. And so 45 minutes of exercise at least 6 times a week, and this can be any kind of exercise. I can split it up, 30 minutes of walking, 15 minutes of stretching, which is what I ended up doing today. Or actually, I did 40 minutes of walking today and then 5 minutes of stretching afterwards. But I could do, split between strength training and walking. It could just be walking. It could be a YouTube video. It could be just strength training if I get back to that point. So that's what we're going to try and aim for. I shouldn't say that. That's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. We're not going to try. We're going to do it. then 15 minutes outside. Again, this may seem like such a silly goal for some people, but I've noticed, because mentally it's just been super tough some days, that going outside is not, I don't want to do it. I don't want to go out there, and I don't want to people, and I just don't, and it's very difficult. And if you've ever been in these places, then I think that maybe you can understand. But if you haven't been in these places, I get that it may be really difficult to understand. But I like to spend 15 minutes outside. So if that coincides with if I take a walk outside, then that can count towards my 15 minutes. This morning I didn't end up walking outside. I walked on our walking pad, and so I will need to get outside for about 15 minutes. It is pretty warm, so I'm thinking maybe when it cools down a little, I will take my kids out to the park or something, and then I can let them play for 15 minutes and I can hang out with them. Or I could take another walk in the evening with one of them, or all of them if they want to. It could be even as simple as sitting out in the yard and reading for 15 minutes. I just need to be outside for 15 minutes. Speaking of reading, I would like to also read 10 pages of a nonfiction book. I do pretty well reading. I didn't mean for that to sound like, huh, I do pretty well. I am a reader. I like to read. I enjoy reading. We have a lot of book content on this channel, but I ended up creating a separate Booktube channel. I will link that down below in case you want to talk books there. But at least 15 minutes of reading a day, a nonfiction book. I tend to read fiction books back here and here, but I do want to try to push myself to read a little bit of nonfiction as well. That's a little harder for me to read. Then I want to make sure that I am journaling. So this could be, sometimes I will do a little art journaling when I'm doing Bible study. Sometimes I'll mark down maybe just daily wins. One of the things that I was introduced to last year was your 3 daily wins that you needed: a mental win, a physical win, and a spiritual win. Those are the 3 daily wins that you should bring to the forefront of your mind. They say, I don't know who they are, but you know, one of those. So I think that would count as towards my journaling. So I do want to make sure that I'm touching pen to paper at least every day. And then my photos and measurements for weigh-ins, I am doing just once a week. I'm not going to do it daily. I think once a week is more than enough. So I'd like to take my weigh-in measurements and then a photo. I didn't do it today. I do plan on doing it tomorrow. And I know, even though technically I'm starting today, day 1 would be a great time to do it. I did weigh myself. So that's what I'm going to do. And then the last goal on here is to reach out to a friend once a week. So what can happen with me is, as soon as anxiety starts to kick in and things like that, I will kind of shelter myself in place, and I will close in and close out, and that's not good. And it's not mentally healthy for me, but sometimes I just feel like I do it because I'm protecting myself. But I would like to make sure, in an effort to make new friends and to keep the friends that I am currently building relationships with, to at least one time a week reach out. It could just be as simple as like a meaningful conversation, or just a check-in conversation, or a few text messages back and forth. But I want to be purposeful in reaching out and trying to stay on that social aspect. So that is it for these 75 days. If I add anything, I'll let you know, but I think that's plenty, and that's what we're going to start with. So today's day 1. I did weigh myself. I can hear my kids getting louder, so I think they need me back. What we've completed today, like I said, is I went ahead and I walked. I am still drinking water. I don't think I've done anything else I read my 10 pages of nonfiction. That's it. I guess I could count reaching out to a friend, but I'm going to hold off on that because she reached out to me. So while I did converse back and forth with her, I'm going to hold off and try to be the initiator in that. So we've not finished the day eating, but so far it's been okay. Breakfast I ended up doing, I usually do coffee and collagen. I'll walk you through a day later. quick update on how this week is going, our first week. I'm moving some stuff around. I went ahead and I made little charts here for my tracker. I thought about doing the post-it note like 1 through 75, and I may do that. This is just on like our closet. But I have here, this is because it's once a week. Up in the corner, we've got like measurements of just little pictures, measurements and picture, and then I just know that that's weigh-in as well for once a week, and then reach out to a friend once a week. I already bubbled both these in because I did both of these already. We're on Wednesday, just so you know. I didn't notice yesterday though. I've noticed that if I go outside and do my morning walk, it helps with a number of these things and really gets me off to a good start. So 8,000 steps, because I'm going for like a 40-minute walk or longer, I am like easily getting to the 8,000 steps in the day. Like I said, I've been doing like at least 35 to 40 minutes of walking, and then I come in and stretch. So then that knocks out my 45 minutes of exercise right away as well. And then 15 minutes outside. If I do my walk outside, that's easily there. And then I just come back in and do 10 pages of nonfiction. So I've got a nice little morning routine, but I mean, today's only day 3, y'all. And Monday, I didn't do that. I did it yesterday, and I thought this would make a good morning routine. I journal usually in the evening, and then in the evening I go ahead and mark off if I did the 80 ounces and then how I hit my protein, veggies, and water. Then on the side, you saw I just added some like motivational things, a picture of me and my husband when I was getting on my last fitness round, and I just felt really good. I was starting to feel really good about myself. A couple of scriptures, Proverbs 31:17 in the NIV. Both of these are in the NIV version. 31:17, she sets about her work vigorously. Her arms are strong for her task. And 31:25, strength and dignity are her clothing, and she laughs at the time to come. So, and then a quote from Jillian Michaels. And then this was a Instagram post from Dana Lynn Bailey, probably years ago, and I just loved it. She says, self-love isn't always about bubble baths and face masks. Real self-love comes from hard work. Getting uncomfortable and doing what you might not want to do. It's about struggle and learning how to work through and conquer that struggle. It's about making goals and sticking to them. And so I just thought like those would be really great motivational type things to have on there. I don't think there's any much more of an update. I do need to start, I'm gonna have to start getting on the meal train, like meal planning, meal prepping bus eventually, but right now we're kind of winging it, and I know that's bad because today it is already like 11, I think, and I haven't had anything but my coffee and collagen, and we have to go run errands. So that makes for a harder time to get all this in. So I may go downstairs and just figure out how I'm gonna get all my protein in, and fiber, and then definitely have veggies for dinner. But I haven't taken anything out of the freezer. Oh, this is where it gets tough, because when life gets busier and you just got to do things. I'm straight out of the shower as well, so I'm kind of well, not straight out, but I'm waiting for my hair to dry a little bit more. Anyways, let's keep going. Day 3, already getting a little tough because I've not planned, I've not prepped. Okay, we're not at the most flattering angle, but, ooh, and it's windy, so I don't know if we'll be able to use this clip. I didn't want to do anything today. I woke up really tired. I didn't sleep well, so I ended up getting on the bike for, I don't know, I just rode it because I was sitting in my bed and I had finished my Bible study. It's a car going by. Finished the Bible study and decided to, since I was sitting there drinking my water and watching my phone anyways, I decided I would go ahead and get on the bike and just move. And then sure enough, I got like, after I think it was 17 minutes on there, I was bored. And I thought, just get your pants on. Now you only have to walk like 30 minutes. So it's going to be a shorter walk today, but we're going to get it done. We're going to run more errands today. Hopefully it's just like 1 or 2. Because yesterday we ran errands and I had a lot of steps for me.
I ended up having over 11,000. And when you're coming from like not even, I think my steps before were, I was not even hitting 8,000 or anywhere close to that. It was a lot. So I don't know if all that contributed. Plus just life, news, heaviness of the world, blah, 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 blah. So, okay, what are we on? We're barely on day 4. We're barely on day 4, and I'm tired. Okay.
Okay, it is actually the next week already. And let me tell you what happened. I was going back and forth between restarting the whole challenge again or changing the rules up. And I think what we're going to do is change up the rules. I know. When you're doing like a 75-day hard, there is no changing the rules. If you miss one thing on one day, you restart the entire challenge. And 75 hard is not really meant to be a physical challenge. I know it feels like it and it seems like it because there's these dramatic like physical transformations, but it probably comes from the 2 45-minute workouts and then sticking to a diet. But the creator of 75 hard, when I looked more into it a couple of years ago, it is really more of a mental challenge, and physical just kind of is like a bonus with it, is what I was gathering from it. Now other people can have other opinions and that's totally great too, but me going into this next 75 days, I think what we're going to call it is a soft reset, because I went into the weekend and we just really needed to have like mental reset. We needed to have family time. A lot was going on in the news. Things could have possibly affected my little family here. Just so much stuff was happening, and we are already kind of in the midst of some big major milestones in our family, some really great ones, but then, you know, but big milestones all the same. So a lot happened, and I think I was looking for some area. If you can relate, let me know, but an area that I could kind of like claim control over and do something about. And so many of the other things in life seem uncontrollable, so I was just trying to control what I could control, and that's why I picked this 75 challenge. So will we continue for another 75 days or make it an overarching 75 days? Yes. But will it be like a 75 soft, 75 medium? No, it's going to be like a 75 soft reset, I think. Just meaning that we're going to go for about 75 days. I'm going to leave up the trackers that I have for now, but I think we're going to take weekends softer. And what does that mean? It means that I'm going to still aim for the 8,000 steps, but I'm going to give myself a little more wiggle room in my macros. What ended up happening was that I just wanted to concentrate on my protein, veggies, and fiber. And I ended up just tracking macros and hitting my macros that I had set for myself that I had thought was a good starting point for me Monday through Friday. And then that triggered stuff in me that was not good. I don't think that mentally I'm in a place that is good for me to track macros 7 days a week for, you know, 3-ish months. So I think we're going to go ahead and take a breather on the weekends and just focus on my plate and my portions and making sure that I am having some sort of vegetable throughout the day and that I am eating mostly protein rich foods. But if my family and I want to go out to eat and I want to order you know, something and just be okay with it, and just like if I want a burger and fries, I'm just gonna go ahead and eat it. And then know that my weight loss may end up being slower because of these things. So I don't want it to be a permission slip to go all out and go crazy, but I am going to try to be a little bit gentler with myself. But I do need to really get in some good rhythms and routines, and I think this is what is going to help with it. So I don't think much else is going to change. I'm still going to aim for the 10 days of nonfiction, journaling, getting my water in, reaching out to my friend once a week, doing the photos and measurements once a week. The daily things were like journaling, spending 15 minutes outside. I still think that's a great thing to do, especially on the weekends. And actually on the weekends it's a little bit easier because we're with family. Sorry, my kids are playing video games. It's usually when I sit down to try to film, but I'm sure you can hear it in the background there. The only thing is I'm going to give myself, like I said, a little bit of a softer reset with it. If I don't quite hit 80 ounces on Saturday or Sunday, it's not like I have to start the the 75 days all over again. I'm going to do everything that I can to get that number, but if I don't, I'm not going to restart. I'm just going to restart the next day and do better and see if I can hit it that day. Now, again, I want to emphasize that this is not permission. I don't want myself to feel like it's permission to just go wild and not even try to drink any water. I'm still aiming for at least 80, but if I get to like 70 or even 60 on the weekend for whatever reason, you know, I did my best. I just want to know that I did my best and that I was aiming for it. So I hope you'll come along with me for the rest of the journey. Let me know how you're doing, checking in, just making sure we're doing okay. How can I support you? And how can we build community here? So I hope you'll stick around, like I said, for the rest of the weeks, and we can do this kind of journey together. Thanks so much for watching.